What's going on, guys? You just get the blast sent out, and then we'll get things started. All right, Discord taken care of. And to the Twitter machine. All right, let's do it. How are we feeling about the Zamboni contests? I looked a little bit ago, and it looked like it had made some pretty significant progress over the course of a few hours. Looks like we have about 1,500 uh, entries remaining, which that's 250 drafts. So probably not going to fill, but it's a good effort, I would say. The big Zamboni looks like there's 125 spots open there. I'll certainly try to draft one of those on stream. I did one last night. I have. Let's see. What are we looking at? Before we do drafts, I did want to just go over all the news from Saturday because there's a lot of it. A lot of surprising stuff too. Not just not everything as expected around the league. All 16 teams here in the postseason. But let's see. Right now, I am at 27 total drafts. So certainly amateur hour, but what you gonna do? I had fun, and I'll probably get in at least 10, 15, maybe even 20 something more, depending on how quickly these lobbies are filling. So, yeah, what's up, Tom? Thanks for stopping by. But I will move me off the screen because nobody wants to see that. Nope, not that one either. There we go. How about this? And just go through every team so far. Just make sure I'll note anything that's sort of not expected. But starting things off on Saturday night, we are, maybe I need to zoom in a bit. Yeah, I don't really. I keep my zoom pretty zoomed out, but maybe I just have those young eyes, and but 80% is pretty much my go-to for most websites. For the Blues, nothing too dramatic up front. Obviously, no Dylan Holloway. We've known that, and very unfortunate for them. Bushnevich, Thomas, Neighbors, Snuggerud, Shen, Kairu. Kind of surprising, we have Snuggerud on the top power play with Thomas, Bolduc, Bushnevich, and Fowler, leaving Neighbors for the power play 2. They've operated as more of a split power play anyway, but I don't think it's a huge deal. But Bolduc, Thomas, they've been dynamic on the power play as of late, especially. And I would not be surprised if that was, a 60-40 split. So anything to do with Jimmy Snuggerud, I think, is super interesting for this series. Just because, we haven't seen too much of St. Louis without Holloway, but they can certainly use some dynamism to replace him. And Snuggerud's probably the most likely guy to replace that. And again, Bolduc's been awesome. Joseph, Sundqvist, Bolduc is not the most exciting line, but the power play role and his shot, he's been on a heater. I want to say he has something. He has over 10 goals since the Four Nations face-off, and not too many guys in the league can say the same. For Winnipeg, on the other side of that matchup, I'll zoom Twitter in a bit too. Connor Scheifele, Iafallo. And that's, by the way, this is from yesterday, so we'll see what morning skate looks or pregame skate looks like. But Velarde does not seem like he will play the first game. So Connor Scheifele, Iafallo, Niederreiter, Nemesnikov, Perfetti, Tanev, Lowry, Appleton. Their defense is healthy. Of note, Logan Stanley is playing. That guy sucks, but what you gonna do? He's big, and this is the playoffs, so coaches. On the power play, we have Iafallo, Shifley, Perfetti, Connor, Morrissey. Uh, my suspicion is that if Filardi were to return, he would basically kick Iafallo off the power play 1 down to the power play 2 where Morgan Barron is. And also at 5-on-5, that would kick Iafallo probably to the 3rd line. And then Tanev down to the 4th line. But we will see. I'm not expecting Nick Ehlers to return all that soon. But if he does, that's probably Perfetti's loss at the power play, and Niederreiter down with Appleton and Lowry at 5-on-5 as per usual. So a decent number of injuries in that series. I'm not. Oh boy, what's I don't know. I don't know what this is. um yeah, maybe there's yeah, I don't know. This is I don't know. I don't even want to know if there's sound. So I'm just gonna pretend there's no sound. That's pretty crazy. All right. The next series, by the way, that first game obviously is the first game today. St. Louis and Winnipeg, 6 o'clock Eastern. So expect the puck drop because this is the NHL at 6:35. Uh, Dallas and Colorado square off in the nightcap tonight. Starting off on I guess the Dallas side, even though they're the home team. I don't know why I did that order. Granlund, Hintz, Donov, Marchment, Duchesne, Sagan, Ben, Johnston, Rantanen. Also of note, defensively, Harley, Labushkin, Lindell, Cece, Leon Bichelle, and Alex Petrovic. Dumba just straight up not playing. I mean, he sucks, but also so does Alex Petrovic. Alex Petrovic is of the Logan Stanley mold, where he's just big and doesn't do much. So I don't know. It's certainly not good. So no Robertson, obviously. We knew that as of yesterday, though. And also no Miro, though he seems like he is closer, has yet to practice fully with the team, however. So looking midweek or next weekend for Miro, if I had to guess. The power plays are different from they went to a 5-man power play, or 5-forward power play for the majority of, or at least for a stretch, the last couple weeks. Harley, Hintz, Duchesne, Johnson, Rantanen. I suspect this means that Duchesne is operating down low like Robertson would, which is a little different. He sort of is operating where Rantanen would be, like in Colorado, on the power play too. And then Rantanen was sort of ceding some of that work to J-Rob as like a puck handler. I don't really know what to make of this. I've kind of suspected that Ben and Johnston would be like the middle, and then Hintz and Rantanen would be the boundary with Harley at the point. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this one works. I think that Wyatt is net front only, so goals versus points would be my lean. Given Johnston has been an expert goal scorer. I think most importantly, one, power play, 2, Ben, Sagan's back on the power play. Marchment keeps a power play job. Granlund and Lindell. Lindell getting power play time just means he's going to eat minutes. I don't know what his series showdown is, that 7-game contest. But if he's super cheap, he has not gotten power play time for most of this year, thanks to obviously Miro and then Dumba. But he's just going to eat all the minutes he can handle, as will Harley. But of course, we knew that. And let's see, what was I looking for? And then Jamie Benn, Johnston, Rantanen. I think they'll play as the maybe not the top line by minutes, but probably the top line by offensive usage. So Jamie Benn, I think, is still a really good play. I missed that he wasn't power play 1 when I was really into Jamie Benn, thinking that there was an outside shot. But Wyatt and Rantanen in particular, probably their 2 most talented offensive players. You throw Ben out there and he's going to, cause some havoc, fetch some pucks behind the goal. I'm coming around a little bit on Dallas. Let's see. We have Lindell is 5K or something around there in series long. By the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you got the DraftKings uh, Iron Man achievement, you got a ticket to basically a Survivor Series for the playoffs. And the first series is, I saw the chatter was like they're 90% advance first round. So pretty easy, just set a lineup and you have a good chance. But make sure you check that and don't forget about it if you don't, if you have it. On the Colorado side, some news here. Obviously, we are awaiting Gabe Landeskog. We have no official word on the status of Landeskog, but given he stayed out late in morning skate today, it does not sound like he will play. If he does play, we're very strongly expecting he's going to be like fourth line minutes, maybe even third line minutes at minute or at maximum, maybe even fourth line minutes. Lehkonen, McKinnon, Nachos, Druin, Nelson, Nichushkin. The power plays we are expecting are not clean across them, meaning McKinnon and Nachos are together. Druin and Nichushkin are together at 5-on-5 with Cale Makar, of course. And then Nelson and Lehkonen, the two other top six guys, are currently on power play 2 with Coyle and Colton. So I think Landeskog is completely off the table in any sort of betting format. If you want to bet him game by game, if he draws into the fourth line and you want to take a stab at him being power play 2 over Charlie Coyle, be my guest. But I don't think we're expecting anything substantial out of him during this postseason, so we'll keep an eye on him. Maybe for next year, if he's truly back into form, he can have sort of a good year next year, but I'm not really expecting much from him at this point. Jamie Benn also barely has an ADP. Yep, I will cover some of my exposures in a little bit. I'm not proud of where I'm. Now I'm just taking Jamie Benn when I get Dallas stuff because I know I was pretty pro Colorado. I'm seeing a lot of people pro Colorado, and obviously the odds have shifted in favor of them, so it's not that crazy. But I'm kind of like, well, they're not that bad, right? So it's probably the contrarian in me coming out, but I'm slowly seeing the path for Dallas. And it's obviously, I think, through Wyatt and Rantanen just dominating down low. Because the other maybe low-key thing, Taze Makar, obviously very good. Gerard Manson and Lindgren Malinsky. Eric Johnson could possibly be in place of Malinsky here. If that's the case, then I don't have much respect for Ryan Lindgren, Eric Johnson pairing. Gerard and Manson. Let's see. I was looking at it. No, this isn't it. Well, let's just do this. We have some time before the Zamboni closes, I assume. But that pairing has not been good since obviously Manson was dealing with injuries, and this was most of that was before the team was quote unquote good with who was I looking at? Basically before they got all their depth pieces in. So, oh god, I have so many of these tabs open because I just wanted to be able to run through it. Gerard Manson, that's what we're looking for. So Josh Manson. By the way, this is Natural Stat Trick, the player's line tool. Josh Manson, Sammy G, and 38% of the goals. So, maybe a little bit of percentages there, but not a good pairing. I suspect that teams will still defer to, at least early on. One, they control the matchups, and I believe these lines are not correct because this is the Colorado guy. I believe that Dallas is going to play this Granlund, Hintz, Dadonov on McKinnon. And then maybe it's Duchesne, Sagan, Marchment on McKinnon in game 2, but I don't think they'll burden him early, Sagan particularly, with chasing around Nate McKinnon. And then they'll just let Johnson, Rantanen, and Ben feed on the non-Makar minutes. So that's something that I'm very much scoping out as sort of my path back here, and DJ's path back, given he's a Dallas cut better. But anyway, let's keep going past these series. Okay, 5 left. Gonna start firing. Yes, maybe 5 minutes on the Zambonis. No, let's call it 10 because we've got 6 more series that there are actual news items. And so for the Wild, we do expect Zeev Buium to play in game 1. He practiced on that top power play in third pair. So unless that's some real tricky stuff out of John Hines here, I'm expecting Buium does play game 1. I don't think that makes him Zamboni relevant. I struggle to see where the fantasy scoring comes in. Like, yeah, if he has 10 points in 6 games, he's going to be relevant, but I don't think he's going to, pop off for shots and blocks with limited minutes and not a very good shot profile. He's just much more talented than anyone else on the Minnesota blue line. Kaprizov, Eriksson Ek, Boldy, top line. That is a smash. Johansson, Gaudreau, Zuccarello, Rossi, Foligno, Nyquist, and Trenyan, Hartman, and Brazo. And then Brodin, Faber, Middleton, Spurgeon are going to get 24 minutes apiece. I think that top line sticking is huge for fantasy. So Kaprizov, Boldy, Eriksson Ek. Let's see. There we go. Kaprizov, Eriksson Ek, Boldy, first line. I think that's huge. On the Vegas side, no surprises. Barbashev, Eichel, Stone, Saad, Hurdle, Dorofeyev, Olofsson, Carlson, Smith. Defensively, they're perfectly healthy as well. Haig is playing with Petrangelo, Hannafin with White Cloud. So this is a deep team, very good team. Tough sledding for Minnesota, but certainly that top line of Minnesota could get the job done. And we go 3 lines deep in Vegas. So very good players. Fourth line is also respectable. So, prognostic wise, I'm not prognosticating Minnesota to do well, but at least for fantasy, you put their 3 best players together and see what the hell happens. In the Edmonton series, Edmonton at practice in San Jose. Okay, well, anyway, they practiced yesterday, and it looks like Hyman, McDavid, Brown. I guess I didn't read this that closely because Josh Brown, I did notice that. Okay, so I saw Skinner alongside McDavid and Brown, but I guess it's Hyman, Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Arvidsson, no surprise there. Henrique, RNH, Jeff Skinner. Skinner and Hyman, obviously, even if it were flip-flopped, Hyman would get some time with McDavid, but that's a little bit of something. I think the Kings can really take advantage of Henrique, RNH, and Skinner personally. Versus with Hyman, I think they had a chance, and obviously you can't take advantage of McDavid no matter who he's playing with. No Ekholm, so Nurse, Bouchard, Kulak, Wallman, Ty Emberson, Josh Brown. I mean, you're talking about a Ty Emberson, Josh Brown, Henrique, RNH, Skinner unit. That's brutal. Losing Nurse also hurts Draisaitl a bit. Nurse and Draisaitl have a lot of chemistry. So it's a little dicey out there. I'll just say that much. Let's see. This is just about Josh Brown. So we can keep going through Kings, Kuzmenko, Kopitar, Kempe, Fiala, Byfield, LaFerriere, Fogle, Deneau, Trevor Moore. Defensively, no surprises. Moverari and Burrows are the scratches. Power play-wise, they're keeping the 5-4 top power play. That's huge news for Quentin Byfield in these contests. I don't think he's getting drafted whatsoever. So you're talking Kuzmenko, Kempe, Kopitar, top line, top power play, with Fiala and Byfield also top power play and correlated. So the Kempe Fialas are getting done with maybe Kemper, but you mix in a Byfield, you throw in a Kuzmenko or a Kopitar, and you're talking about a really live full stack against a banged up team in the Oilers, where you're going to be getting the underbelly because Fogle, Deneau, and Moore are going to be chasing around McDavid for the vast majority. And most importantly, they're going to be chasing around the Nurse-Bouchard pairing for most of the 5-on-5 time. Seen this movie before, but certainly the best chance ever for the Kings to knock off their rivals. All right, getting over to the East, Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky, Gallagher, Dvorak, Anderson, Laine, Newhook, Demidov. I mean, talk about no defense there. Heineman, Evans, Armia. No surprises defensively. I don't believe. Yeah, here's the power play. No surprise, power play 1 is as usual. Demidov is power play 2 in that right half wall. Suzuki, of course, is going to play the full 2 minutes. And yeah, no real surprises. I don't think this really matters because the Caps are a much better team, and they are looking at Ovechkin, Strome, Beauvillier. It's kind of surprising. Obviously, no Protas here for the Caps. McMichael, Dubois, Wilson. We know this line; they're pretty good. Duhaime, Dowd, Radish, and then Mangiapane, Ellert, Leonard. So Ryan Leonard is getting in to the first playoff game, it appears. Most importantly, Logan Thompson is healthy. He was fully good to go. They had Clay Stevenson watching from the bench. So Logan Thompson was a question mark heading in. I think we can draft him with 100% confidence now based on this. Obviously, coaches are being assholes and we don't know any of this stuff, but we can imply it. And I think that he will be good to go. On the Devils, here we go. Nason, Heischer, Bratt, Howla, Mercer, Meyer, Cotter, Glass, Daniel Sprong, Hughes, Pesci, Dumoulin, Kovacevic, Brendan Dillon, Dougie. And also, Dougie is not the power play 1 quarterback. That's a surprise to me. I was not expecting this. Luke Hughes has been good, but, the team was not nearly as good as they were when Dougie was healthy, in large part thanks to Jack Hughes. But Dougie, power play 2 with Palat, Cody Glass, Steph Nason, and Sprong. So I've been taking Dougie a lot. I'm going to ramp it back a touch. Luke Hughes is good. I just don't think that we can count on, block shots or hits from him like we can from Dougie. Not a ton. I also don't think Hughes is quite as good as Dougie offensively. So at least at this point, obviously he's going to be, supernova. But I'm not sure that this is the spot with Carolina on tap for me. So on the Carolina side, no surprises. Jarvis, Aho, Blake, Hall, Kotkaniemi, Svechnikov, Martinook, Stahl, Stankoven. Really important news, Nikishin not playing. Does not sound like they are considering playing him. So my best guess for Nikishin is game 3 at the absolute earliest, and that's if they lose both home games. So Gostisbehere, Sean Walker, Orlov, Chatfield, Slavin, Burns. Pretty boring. Not very fun. Power plays a little different. Taylor Hall lost that power play 1 job through no fault of his own. But Gostisbehere, Aho, Svechnikov, Blake, and Seth Jarvis. That means top line Jarvis, Aho, Blake fully correlated. Jackson Blake is obviously the smash here. He was very good down the stretch for them. Yes, Seth Jarvis and Aho are the stars there, but Blake is maybe just as good and was producing, comparably to Aho, like especially offensively. And Jarvis was doing very well down the stretch for himself. Final division. A little shakeup for the Sens. Kachuk, Stützle, Giroux. Perron, Cousins, Batherson stays the same. Greg, Pinto, Amadio. Obviously, they load up Stützle and Kachuk together with Claude Giroux. That's, good news for them. Not having to play with Shane Pinto or Ridley Gregg. So there we go. And no surprise defensively. Goalies, Olmark's fine. So expect him to get the net there. Power plays, no surprises either. Sanderson, Stützle, Batherson, Cousins, Kachuk. And yeah, that's about it. Finally, one more. The Leafs, no surprises except for Domi and McMahon flip. I don't like this. I think it's stupid, but is the second, third left wing really going to matter when we are looking at Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Nylander? I don't think it matters. So a little annoying, but that's about it. Defensively, they're perfectly healthy. Benoit, Ekman Larson will be the third pair. And Nick Robertson's playing. So that's nice. They're not immediately scratching Nick Robertson come playoff time because, he's a good player. But, Pontus Holmberg doesn't really make it move as their center. So maybe some fringe DFS consideration tomorrow, Monday, whenever that series starts, but not much else. All right, final game. Florida dropping a little bit of a surprise this morning. Verhage, Barkov, Reinhart, Samoskevich, Bennett, Kachuk, Luosterainen, Lundell, Marchand. This line, the Lundell, Luosterainen, Marchand line, I expect to be the shutdown line. They played really well down the stretch. So that's that. Ekblad is scheduled to return in Game 3. So for now, it's Forsling, Jones, Mikola, Kulikov. Maybe Barkov, Reinhardt I guess Barkov, Reinhardt will get the shutdown job. But they were using Forsling away from Barkov. Again, who knows what to draw from their last 10 games because they were just outward tanking. But we might not see the standard shutdown unit of Barkov, Forsling, and their respective mates. Is all I'll say there. Maybe we do, but that does leave Samoskevich, Bennett, Kachuk to hunt the third line of the of Tampa, and that's not great. So good news for Mackie Samoskevich, especially when you consider that power play one: Samoskevich, Barkov, Kachuk, Reinhart, Seth Jones. So Mackie Samoskevich is in the penthouse here. You know, he's getting the job right out of the gate over Verhage, over Bennett, over Marchand. That's real fun. And obviously Matthew Kachuk being good to go helps things a ton. So yeah, Mackie Samoskevich, a guy to keep an eye on come Tuesday. The series is not starting until Tuesday somehow. Great job, Gary Bettman in the NHL. For the Bolts, no Oliver Bjorkstrand. He will miss that first round entirely, which I was not expecting. So Yanni Gord, Point Kucherov, Hagel, Sorelli, Gensel, Gonsalves, Nick Paul, Connor Geeky. I don't know if they're going 11-7 or not. Chafee and Atkinson could both be scratches, and they could go 11-7. So we'll keep an eye out. I don't think we'll get that news until, again, Tuesday morning or Tuesday evening maybe. But that's at least interesting. No Bjorkstrand means we don't have power plays currently, but I'm expecting it to be Point, Kucherov, Gensel, and Hagel. And, you know, Yanni Gord gets a nice boost there into the top 6. And unless Connor Geeky breaks out, I don't know who's replacing him there. So maybe a bit too thin for Zamboni contests. But if you're looking to get crazy, I think Yanni Gord is an interesting piece there, especially if you miss out on Point and or Sorelli and you want 2 centers for your Tampa 6-man stack. Connor Geeky is a player I really like, but I'll probably save that for like round 2 or whatever if we see anything good from him in round 1 and they advance. All right. So that's what we have. Obviously, a lot of little changes, some bigger changes. Let's get into things. Let's fire up some drafts. I will give it a few seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's fire it up. Waiting for 4. We will get some zooms in. And while we wait, let's see. Here are my current exposures across 20-something drafts. Here we go. 19% buy field. That is impressive. I don't think I have any. So that's a miss by me. I keep seeing guys get the McDavid Draisaitl start. And so I go, well, McDavid falls to me at 4. I'm going to take McDavid over, Matthews or whatever. And then Draisaitl never falls to me, and I just end up fighting over Bouchard, and it's a bunch of bullshit. I hate it here. I think is the name of the game. But anyway, here's what I currently am looking at. Matthews is my most drafted player. Also took him in the big Zamboni that I did. So let's look at just a little Zamboni, or the main one. Matthews, again, I keep getting these Edmonton guys early. I'm just gonna stop that. Like I'm just gonna force in the Makars, the Matthews, the Kucherovs. I haven't gotten any 101s since. Literally, I drafted I think 10 to 12 teams yesterday. Did not get a single 101. I got one McKinnon, but that's something that I will be looking for. Let's see. Yep, I pulled a 5. So. Yeah, that's that. What else? Scroll down a bit. RNH has been my backstack with Edmonton. Like I hate it. I hate it. I don't love it. I'm gonna get some wildness here. I think. I have taken a good bit of New Jersey. I think that they're live against Carolina. I love that we can rely on Markstrom to be their goalie. Now, should we be able to rely on him because Allen's been better? Probably not. But I don't think Sheldon Keefe is big dicking us and putting Jake Allen in for game 2 or anything. So if New Jersey loses round 1, fine. But if they do win, I think Markstrom could have a big series. I like the prices. The prices are right to me on Devils. So I've taken a handful of these stacks, mostly building around Nico and Timo, obviously, um, who, by the way, are obviously not together at 5-on-5, but I think their power play is pretty obviously running through those two. Harley and Theodore defensively, with obvious takes of Makar, Bouchard, and Morrissey. I'm taking Aaron Ekblad over Seth Jones. And here's some scrolls. I grabbed a Sanderson, a Hudson, a Brant Clark because I'm not taking Drew Doughty. But okay, here we go. We are in the draft. I will get the board up momentarily. Let's just make this a LA team out of the gate. I don't see. I don't know what Tom's name. Yeah, I don't think I know what Tom's name is here, but we can make this an LA team, or at least try to. Maybe Lego is going to be out here and snipe me on some LA pieces, but we'll grab Kale McCarr. Obvious. I think he's an obvious first rounder. Advanced equity strong, but also just the ability to separate at the defense position, I think is massive. So pretty nice way to go, Sam Reinhart. So let's just fire up some Florida pieces early. We will mark these guys down for now. We will mark down Aaron Ekblad for later. And then just sketch out some, sketch out some Los Angeles. Again, their prices are effectively free. So that's always nice. And finally, if we're looking at Kale McCarr, maybe Nachos slides back to us here in 6 picks. If not, I would be fine going with well, I'll wait. Maybe I do something like a 6-4-1-1 with McCarr. Okay, the McKinnon team takes Nachos, makes sense. All right, here, let me get the board up and get that situated for you. Good. And almost there. All right, that's good. Perfect. All right. So here, I think I don't think you need to see my queue much. Also, my camera's a little high. That's tough. Oh, Tom Krieger. Duh. I did know that, obviously. All right. You're leaving LA. All right, good. All right, so I was not paying attention to the board. It does not look like I don't think I think I'm safe to get Bob at the turn. So the start, we have Colorado, we have Edmonton, Tampa, we have Sporting Kid out here vibing with Cooch, Ovi, and Draisaitl. You can certainly make that team work, but no, I'm not sure what they're going to do. Toronto, Vegas, me, Colorado, Florida, and then Winnipeg. So yeah, Bob here makes perfect sense. Now we have Reinhart, Barkov, Bob, with Kale McCarr anchoring the defense position. So I can mix in a couple of late guys, or if Kachuk gets to me, I can go Kachuk. And then I also have a luxury pick, whether that's a Colorado piece or just, a one-off for smashing purposes. Maybe someone like, let's see. Yeah, I could do something like a Timo. I'm guessing Ovi went, Ovi went 15th. So not really that interested in maybe a Seth Jarvis or something. Seth Jarvis, a Timo, something like that, just to get some extra stud points rather than saying, oh, well, Nichushkin not playing with Makar at 5-on-5, relying on that whole situation. That doesn't sound like much fun. But hopefully Kachuk comes to me here, and that makes that decision quite easy. And then, geez. I mean, Makar versus Miko, it's probably not great, but it's okay. There goes Kachuk. Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. Okay, so if we're sketching out Kempe, Fiala, Byfield, Kemper, I could grab a center, and that would be fine. So Aho. Yeah, I kind of just prefer Seth Jarvis over Aho, to be honest. Well, Byfield. Okay, well, let's go Sebastian Aho. Let's just be a little lame here. And then we sort of just sketch this team out. Oh, the Vassy guy took Makachuk. Yep, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. That's very funny. Good luck there, bud. Big 209 daddy. Lego going with the New Jersey, Minnesota build. That's fun. Let's just get things started. Take Kempe. So I need. Well, I could go 4 Floridas and 6 Kings. That sounds like more fun. Never GA, just never, just not happening. I'm more likely to take Brock Faber, and that is also never happening. I can't get tilted at this. Like, it's basically for my other, dozens of entries, it's just someone donating. So whatever. It just makes me change things up a little bit, but I'm not that worried about it. All right. So if taking 6 Kings. Well, yeah, because the thing about taking Florida is I like Ekblad, and again, I guess there's the troll of Drew Doughty, because God, do I just lead off with a Brant Clark team? Like, that sounds way too on brand. Let's just do that. He's gonna play, and per minute, he's still a good fantasy player. He might not play many minutes, but why not? Well, let's live a little. Let's have some fun. So I will lock in Darcy Kemper, and now it's just a matter of assembling, Florida and LA pieces in a way that makes some amount of sense. I still need. Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3 Florida pieces. So I want to make sure I get Mackey because he's fun. Or wait, what did I? Yeah, what did I decide? I decided on Kings. So these 4 can be my next teams or my next picks. 1, 2, 3, 4 picks. That'll do it for this team. Let's just get into another draft. I will make sure that those picks don't get screwed up, but if they do, I will complain about it. Waiting for 2 more in the next draft. I will just shepherd this guy home. Let's see. So Nego is going Winnipeg, Minnesota, and New Jersey. All makes sense. I wonder if the backstack Winnipeg pieces are coming or if this is going to be a 6-man New Jersey slam. We will see. Who do we got in this one? John. What's up, John? Roto Run showing up. No one else from the chat. Is that right? I got 18 of you in here and nobody in the chat. Interesting. Let's see. Can can I move this down? Yeah, that's fine. Hey, that's right. We got to play the guy who's going to get 6 minutes of ice time if he's lucky, because he's going to actually do something with them. Unlike Drew Doughty, who will just not do anything with his minutes. Oh, what's up? What's up, cool Smurfer? Thanks for popping in. On screen, looks like you went Toronto, Vegas, with the Ottinger late faller. That I like that team. I like that build. Um, I should mention we got confirmation that Stolars is starting for Toronto. So if you're drafting Toronto now, I think I was like 95% confident. I'm now like 99% confident that Stolars is going to be the guy in net for them. All right, we get McDavid. So we get the two. Yeah, I don't have much Nikita Kucherov, and that scares me. Obviously, he's awesome. So again, like I said, I've been taking McDavid and hoping to get Draisaitl on the wrap, and it just never seems to happen for me. So I'll let John try it, and I'm sure he'll get it, because every time I fade it, I'm watching them do that. So, all right, we are getting to the close of this one. Yep, Smurfer gets that Harley under value. I think that's awesome, especially if a Toronto team. Now you're looking at Dallas, or Harley and Theodore. I mean, Jesus. I mean that's a team right there that speaks right to my soul. So, yeah, thanks for popping in and letting me know, because yeah, did not recognize that name. Wall going way before than Stolars, even last night. That is, I mean, yeah, I get it, because I was on the Wall train. Dry McDavid Bouchard twice on drafters. Absolute, like that is, I've seen it happening. Like it's strange, and maybe it's not strange, because again, like maybe they should be underdogs, but it just doesn't seem to happen for me. Sorry, I will check on that draft once I get this done. Is there someone like Kings? Like Jordan Spence isn't better. Yeah, whatever. I'm just taking Brant Clark, because 410 fantasy points is a lot of fun. 406. I mean, obviously Doughty's numbers don't really matter, but Edmondson 340. Like, I mean, these guys all suck. So why not Brant Clark, who's actually good? All right, that team is done. We will rapid fire get the next board up and out for you. So Kucherov, I do not want Samson. Both Eichel and Draisaitl go right before me. That stinks. I'll grab Vasi and punt the decision for another pick or two. Yep, did John fucking do it? Yep, he did. Yep, there's McDavid and Draisaitl. Every single time I pass it up, like I don't even hate going Matthews and Eichel. It's not like it's a problem, but it's just so annoying, because it just never seems to be me. All right. 15 seconds. See, now if I let Bouchard get to John, like he's just getting the nuts. All right, I'll just keep reaching a bit. I'll go Braden Point. I don't know what I want to do in the West. Obviously, this build opens me up a lot for some of those backstacks, or some of those later teams that I just really am not taking much of. I could go Kings again. Obviously, this team is completely different from that prior Kings team, because that was a Florida team. This is a Tampa team. So I could do that and just keep up in my exposure there. Let me mark. Oh, did Z Dominator took Victor Hedman. All right, great. That's fun. So yeah, I definitely want to build around a Western stud defenseman. Eichel's off the board, but I could still go Theodore. Obviously, the Dallas backstacks are perfectly fine. Actually, all right. If Rantanen falls to me, I might just do the catch the falling knife with Mikko. Again, Mikko, Jamie Benn, and Wyatt Johnston is one of my preferred lines. Like if I play or when I build my Saturday DFS lineup, I'm pretty excited about that line. So I'm coming around to Dallas's odds in this series. So let's see what John does. He goes Bob, Officer Bob on the scene. Let's go Mikko. Let's just get that in. I don't need the goalie here, but I'll star him just for to be safe. I'll star Harley because I definitely want Harley if I can't get Hedman. And then I will just make sure I don't miss Wyatt and the Jamie boy. All right, so that is 4. So I would get the 5 if I just drafted this. I have 3 Tampa pieces. Is there anything early that I'm missing out on that I want a piece of? Nope, I'm good. Let me just make sure I get my Thomas Harley. If someone wants to take Ottinger, I don't really care because I have Vasi and I can just go to a separate mini stack if needed. But yeah, I like my late Dallas options. Obviously, Sagan's on the table. Rope Hintz is on the table. Even J-Rob, building out for a cup team, he's falling enough to where if I get him, in the 10th round, then I'm just saying, yep, he's not helping me in the first round. I'm fine, taking him and just saying, all right, I have, 4 other wingers to get 1 good score plus a couple of flexes from all the positions, and I'll just cross my fingers that J-Rob's back for round 2. I don't hate that idea. All right, with Tampa news and Bjorkstrand being out, Hagel seems locked into a power play 1 job, so I can grab him. I'm not prioritizing it, though. I definitely want to prioritize getting Wyatt before the EDP monsters just grab Wyatt from me. So let's see what John does here. He goes Hyman. He's keeping the Florida Edmonton stuff going. We will get Wyatt Johnston in there for the full 3-3 stack so far of Dallas and Tampa. What do we get? Tom says Vegas backstack with Hurdle, Dorfiev, Stone. That's really good. My only light concern with that is if they do make the final, like, am I really going to be able to win without Jack Eichel? And again, maybe you could couch that. I mentioned Eichel's Conn Smythe odds on our playoff breakdown were 25-1, and they were 10-1 to win the cup itself, which just seems off to me. So maybe that's a way to couch it, where if I want to take a bunch of Dallas or a bunch of Vegas, jam that Shea Theodore value, jam Aiden Hill. I think that's also a great value. But if I want to do that, I definitely want to have Jack Eichel, but maybe I don't need him if, I'm couching those odds in some other bet like the Conn Smythe or something. All right, Hagel goes to the Hedman guy who, he's recovered the team. Matthews versus Tampa in round 2 was not ideal, but it's certainly not the end of the world. Yep, there you go. I'm guessing that's Z Dominator, ZD Baseball. I'm going to guess that's him. But let's see. What else can I do here? Anything I need? I definitely need to consider later defensemen. I'm going to star Chikrin for now because I can get a 2-man there. I have my 2 goalies. Yeah, let's just lock it in with Chikrin as the second defenseman here for this build. And now I'm pretty committed to going 6 Dallas pieces. So if Ben and Sagan make it to me, Ben does. That's cool. Or I can go Rupe Hintz. So I will save that decision. because I no longer have 3 Tampas, I could go 3 Washingtons. Strome's gone, Wilson's gone. I got Chikrin, um, McMichael, Bavillier. I could even go Ryan Leonard. That's probably about it. So let's just take McMichael. I like Connor McMichael. I only have like 1 share of him so far, and I could look at Tampa. I could grab a Kaprizov. I could grab Brady Tkachuk. What should I do? Oh, Matt Boldy. Gosh. Let's see, because Minnesota, they're on the other side of Dallas, so they would only meet in the conference finals. I think this team, well, I have Kucherov, Rantanen, Point Johnston. Yeah, I don't think I need any specific position, so I'll just get my mini stack of Washington. Oh, John grabs him. Attaboy. No problem there. I can survive that. Bye. Let's just have some fun. The full top line stack at the moment. Yanni Gord, star him up. That means I don't really need hints, so I'll just take Sagan. Keep the positions kind of balanced. Again, don't really think it matters. I'm only starting one of these guys, and if Kucherov and Rantanen aren't scoring, like I'm kind of screwed anyway. But I love Tyler Sagan, and he was playing really well before they basically pre-planned his surgery so that he was back for the playoffs. So even if he's not 100% healthy, I don't think he was 100% healthy earlier this year. And Sagan, Duchesne, Marchment was just smashing the opposition. And yeah, so Yanni Gord. This now means I have 6 Dallas, 4 Tampa, and 1 Washington. So Washington options. If John doesn't grab Pierre-Luc Dubois here on the turn, I might just take it. I'm not positive what the power play is going to look like. I was seeing, there we go, PLD goes to the Strom OV team. Because they were using Chikrin and Carlson on the power play. But again, they just had so many injuries and whatnot that I don't really know what to make of it. So, all right, I'm comfortable saying Chikrin's just my 1 defenseman, and I'm just going to take a stab at upside elsewhere. So let's take a stab at an upside centerpiece. Eriksson, Suzuki, Rob Tom. Yeah, let's just grab Eriksson. I don't really think there's an issue there. So your 6-4-1-1 team of Tampa, Dallas, Dallas being the main team, and then a couple of one-offs in Minnesota Eriksson and Jake Chikrin. All right, that was a pretty good one. I don't really have any problems there. GA was not drafting Mikko earlier, but getting him in the 4th or 5th. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, especially losing J-Rob hurts, but it's the unknown. It's the mystery box now. What's the chemistry like between Wyatt Johnston, Jamie Benn, and Mikko Rantanen? And to me, I just see those guys dominating down low. I see them dominating the Sam Girards and the Sam Malinskis in the bottom pairings at home. Like, yeah, I have a lot of time for that combination, and we haven't seen it, so I can't even look at it and say, oh, well, that combo sucks. Like maybe I could if they had been together for 5 games or something. Yeah, Tom, certainly would consider overstacking a team, Dallas being one of those. I know so far I've overstacked Dallas. I might have even gone to 8. I think I went 8-2-2 or something last night on a Dallas team. I've also done it with Florida. Some teams, like, I'm not taking 7 Edmonton pieces, I don't think, because if you have McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard, like, who else is really contributing? I don't know. But let's make sure we get into keep the Zamboni train going here. Looks like we have 88% full. Let's see. What's the big Zamboni looking like? Do we have a draft there? I'll give this one a minute or two. Anyone want to do a big Zamboni with me? Hop on in. The lobby is warm. What was I saying? In any case, so Edmonton's not a team I would overstack. I don't really think you need to take 7 or 8 of like the Minnesotas, the LAs, like the teams that aren't really getting much ADP love. Not being drafted 100% of the time. Feels like you're maybe being a little bit over concentrated, because in reality, when you reach the finals, how many of those top 6 LA pieces are going to be giga chalk? Like, I can't imagine it's that many, just given how many lobbies that they're not fully drafted in. But when you get into Dallas lobbies, Florida reached a cup type scenarios, you get maybe the chalk to that smash. Say it's Wyatt and Rantanen. Well, most teams that advance out of the conference finals are going to have Wyatt and Rantanen. But if you can pull that up and say, oh, well, actually, now I have Duchesne and Granlund, and I have Harley, Ottinger, let's call it Hintz, and Sagan, so take your 6 that scored, substitute 2 of those guys out. I think that makes a lot of sense, sort of as like the I don't know. I think of it the same way as I do quarterbacks in best ball, where like if I know Leone in the manifesto, I think wrote about Daniel Jones advanced a bunch of people that were week 17, and because Daniel Jones sucked in week 17, so you needed to have whoever it was that year just to cushion it, and basically say if 50 or maybe it was the opposite, 50% advanced with someone good, and then I had Daniel Jones on my bench advancing with that, and he was 3% owned, and he goes off in week 17, and I win all the money. I kind of see those teams, 7 and 8 stacks working in the same way, where the team advances with a bunch of the field having access to those teams. So you need, 1 or 2 pieces to slip in that maybe don't advance as much and allow you to, get different while still building out those really good teams. All right, we need one more for the big Zamboni. Is someone going to pony up $75, or should I just get into a $10? What do we have? Done it with Winnipeg with Flaherty Ehlers. That certainly is another way to do it. The thing there is, I think their series have to go 7 games, and obviously you could go 7 games against St. Louis, but otherwise maybe you're losing a bit of advance equity, especially without much overlay in the contest, just because there's all the studs in play in round 1. But I certainly can't say it's a bad strategy. That's just the one thing that comes to mind, where obviously it's very easy for me to see Florida and Tampa and Dallas and Colorado being 7-game slugfests. It's a bit tougher for me to see the same. All right, we're back down to 2 in the big Zamboni. I will try to get in one of those later. Well, I'll try to get in 2 of those later because I've used one of them. But let's just keep things moving here and fire up regular Zamboni. 3 to join a Zamboni. 2 to join. There we go. Snap fill. Thank you, fellows. Ben, Willis, Car Park again, Mincatch Homie again. Good to see you, boys. I hope your cramming session is going as well as mine is here. What was I looking at here? I was looking at Demidov's stats in the KHL. Not that exciting. Let's see. Yeah, Chris gets McDavid, Draisaitl in the one he joined between the streamed ones. Yep, that sounds about right. I I simply can't get it myself, but I let McDavid go, and I Draisaitl comes right back to him. So it is what it is. We have just under an hour left of drafts to fill. 5:23 is the closing time. In case anyone was curious about that, closes in 47 minutes. Obviously, you can keep drafting until then. But yeah, that is what we are currently looking at. Ooh, Ben's final draft gets to 101. That is uh, an enchanted life, one might say. Okay, I could go Dreisaitl. I could go Connor and Connor Hellebuck. I could go, Eichel. I could go Eichel Reinhardt. Ooh, and Eichel Reinhardt. That speaks to me. I don't think I've done that yet. Maybe I've gotten like a third rounder of these guys together, but a Vegas Florida pairing obviously makes a ton of sense across the conferences. And I will let Edmonton and Winnipeg go to whoever wants him. And obviously, Ben is likely to min cash homie here going McCarr, Willie Nylander. That's interesting. I have a bunch of McCarr Matthews teams from when you could get Matthews at the 6-7 turn. I wonder how many of those I've managed to get Nylander on, though. Okay, McDavid, Draisaitl. That's not that surprising. I'm, obviously I could have stopped it too, which is why I'm not tilted about it. I could have easily just taken Leon, no problem. But he does get it, likely to get Bouchard at 16. There's nothing I can do about that one. But otherwise, we have Kucherov, Rantanen, and Matthews, Kyle Connor. Ben grabbing Blackwood and Nachos to lock in the Colorado stack. Willis taking Tampa. What's going on? Hope things have been going well in here, Moods. Yes, they have. No complaints here. I think two pretty solid drafts to start things off. McKinnon, McCarr, my first draft the other day. I should have just quit at 1. Yeah, that is impressive. I know I saw it. I don't remember the exact circumstances though. Yesterday. All right, Eichel Reinhardt. That means I am pretty much open for whatever. So let's just go Barkov and Bob. I will make sure I get Theodore, Stone, and Hill. And then I could go over Hagee, just say 2 full line stacks. Stone, Eichel, and Florida 1. I could go power play with Samoskevich. I also probably want to draft 6 of one of these 2 teams, so that's a decision I can make when I see the board play out a little bit more. But for now, this definitely looks like a 6-4-2 team. With the 2 coming later on and probably from the other conference. I really have no like barriers to completing that. So I think this team pretty much will build itself from here on out. Willis, it's going all right. Using up the rest of my bankroll to get some in. Yeah, no, I'm happy to stream these, and it's nice to see a couple dozen people in here. That's certainly nice. Not enough people talking about the cross team, but same profile jersey stacks. When you click on them, yeah. I see. The Rantanen, well, maybe not. What can you get? The Colorado's And I mean, yeah, Carolina, Colorado. You get the Marty Nachos in there. That's a nice correlation for sure. Washington and Kings, but PLD plays for both. That too. Yep, for sure. Tom, I think this is the latest I've seen Hellebuck go. Where did Hellebuck? Oh wow, 21. What was? So let's see. The Toronto Winnipeg drafter didn't want it. So I mean, makes sense. He wanted Mitch Marner for sure. Um, yeah, I, I think you would, reach to and just hope that Marner gets back to you. But I understand if you're worried about Nylander taking Marner there. That's certainly a thing. Uh, ZD, moods.beehive.com. I wrote the best ball playoff manifesto. I ran some sims basically on last year's contest, and it found that 6 was definitely a better strategy than 4s and 5s as your biggest stack. Um, I highly encourage you to go check it out. Again, moods.beehive.com and just give it a full read. But the data seemed pretty clear that I was wrong last year in asserting that a 4-4-2-2 was the way to go. And that every time I send it out, 6-man stacks flooded to the top. Basically, you don't need to get 2 teams right come the finals. And if one team plays a 7-game series, you're doing quite well. So I think that's kind of the genesis of the idea. But I am doing 6-man stacks in every single draft I do. I think I might have screwed one up last night where I went a 5-5-2. I just wasn't paying attention and needed to get my positions in order, so I foregone the team element. But yeah, I'm pretty adamant about going 6. The data seems pretty clear on that. Yeah, gotta add PLD to your LAK stacks. Yes. Bobby, thoughts on the Ekblad click if you feel good about advancing? Yes, absolutely. He's gonna play in game 3 even. So like, is it possible he outscores Seth Jones in 4 games if Seth Jones gets 6? I think that's definitely true. So it's not perfect for advancing out of round 1, obviously, but it's not like he's hurt. It's not like, oh, will he be like he'll be fully healthy. He'll be the most healthy player on the ice, actually. Come game 3. So I have no problem clicking Ekblad. I personally prefer Ekblad to Seth Jones when building out Florida stacks, and that's actually an idea to do in this team too. I'm not sure if Bobby's in this lobby, but that is a guy that I should be marking for late because that could be the way to get to 6 of one team with my Florida and Vegas stuff. At the moment, I have 3 of each, so I probably just want to lock in Mark Stone with Jack. And then one more Florida piece. And let's see. Let's do some later Vegas stuff. Yeah, Hurdle Door 5 is fun. I'm going to do something a little different and go William Karlsson and Riley Smith. They've been dynamite together since Riley Smith's trade. So again, if someone wants to take it, feel free. I'll just pivot, but I'll do something a little bit different for my 6-man Vegas stack. So let's make the decision. Carter Verhaeghe versus Mackey. I'm just gonna grab Mackey. I know Verhaeghe's playing with Barkov and Reinhart, who I already have at 5-on-5. But I don't feel like I'm losing that much. So let's do that. This would mean I'll keep Ekblad here just in case the Vegas stuff gets taken. I want to do, Vegas for Hagee or something. Ekblad for Hagee instead of Karlsson Smith. But that means now I can start roaming around for some defense pieces. I have Florida, so I want the Metro Division. That leaves Washington, Carolina, New Jersey, and Montreal. So this might just build itself yet again. The Chikrin mini stack. We have a Strome available. We have, what wings do we have available? We could go Brady and Sanderson. Brady goes to Ben. Okay. Certainly a good pick. Or I could do Suzuki Hudson if I really wanted to. I'm going to see if I can pull off the Strome Chikrin. But this OV drafter min cash homie might want Dylan Strome. He already has Aho, so I'm not entirely sure what the directive is there. Let's see. Up the board, we have a Dallas Tampa out of the 2-hole. We have Colorado Carolina with that Brady pick out of the 1. Winnipeg Toronto with an LA late stack. We have a Kempe pick in the 5-hole. What's he going to auto? Dylan Strome. Figures. They're firing. Let's just grab Wild Bill. I'll figure out the 2 stack here because I could even go to the Central now, which would give me the opportunity to do something like Pionk is a good player, I think. I could even go just 6-6 on this team and say Ekblad. Ekblad's an option if I don't find anything I like more. But let's see, what else is in the Central? Dallas, obviously no. Colorado, obviously no. So yeah, it's basically Pionk or Justin Falk, or do I get real stupid and go Cam Fowler because I hate myself? If that power play gets going, we were looking at it. Fowler, Thomas, Bolduc, Buchnevich, Snuggerud. Just something, real simple like Cam Fowler and Robert Thomas, and just say, look, points are points. And even if you don't get a lot of other stuff, that's one way to do it. I don't know. What did Justin Falk do this year? Obviously, the games played, I'm pretty sure both these guys missed only a handful of games at most. Yeah, Justin Falk's going to actually hit people. Then I can get him and Kyrou, which is an option, unless Kyrou's gone. I'm not paying attention to that, in all honesty. No, Kyrou's there. Let's just do that. Falk and Kyrou. I could even go Falk and Snuggerud if I really want to be silly, but I don't think I need to get that wild. Just take Jordan Kyrou with Falk, Broberg. Broberg's an option, but the power play is probably where Falk gets the edge. It's not like I need to be that contrarian. So yeah, I take 6 for Vegas. Obviously, that's the Pacific Division, so St. Louis isn't making it to the final, which isn't ideal. But I feel pretty good about my Vegas stuff. So, if Vegas makes it to the final, having Carlson and Riley Smith, I'm totally fine getting a little bit of extra action on St. Louis here with Kyrou and Justin Falk. It's fine. Nothing, and I don't think you can really make a mistake there if you go in 6-4-2 in that fashion. Whether I go, John Carlson, PLD, or, like just some other Hudson, Suzuki, a lot of different options there, but I feel pretty good about going with Jordan Kyrou and Justin Falk just for some St. Louis stuff. All right, let's see. Oh boy, yeah. Hey, that means he's hot. As someone who has had way too much Falk in BP Best Buck Classic, he did nothing until round 2. Yeah, that sounds about right. Seeing as I didn't make it out of round 1 for the most part, it would make sense that my 20% Justin Falk did absolutely nothing. Yeah, there's the stat. Bolduc, 13 goals in 25 games. Get crazy. I will definitely be lopping on some Bolduc, but I want to do it with the Robert Thomas. And I wanted a defenseman in that build because I only had Shea Theodore. Just to make sure that if Theodore had a down series, I wasn't getting completely punished in round one. Because it's not like I think Shea Theodore is Kel McCarr. I think he's really really good, but I don't think he's a guy who I'm like, yeah, that's all I need to be certain that I'm not just blasting a hole in this roster. All right. I believe I had 0% Justin Falk. Probably why I advanced so well in Buzzbot Classic. All right, let's do one more draft. I will see where the big Zamboni's at, and then I will go off stream and try to fire off an absolute metric ton of the last drafts that are in there. All right, I don't think the big Zamboni is getting full immediately, so let's just get a Zamboni in, and then call it a day. Leave me about 10 to 15 minutes to have 17 tabs open and just be clicking random players together. I can't imagine where that would go wrong. Okay, we get a room. Get the 3-hole with Smurfer, Willis, Lego, Zoe Finch, and John again. So pretty much friends and family. Not sure about Zoe Finch, but decent room. Filled the big Zamboni like 5 minutes after you left the lobby before. Yeah, I'm guessing they're moving. So I'll get up my couple in after I go off air. And yeah, I mean that's clearly the problem with St. Louis is that Winnipeg's really freaking good. And St. Louis is out of Dylan Holloway, who is was their game breaker, down the stretch for them. So I don't love St. Louis for sure. That's why I'm not betting on them. That's not why I'm not, taking that make the playoffs bet and parlaying it into, a bunch of St. Louis teams here because I do think they're losing this matchup. But again, I also have a bunch of Washington stuff already. I don't think I'm doing much with a Chikrin PLD team, honestly, and I don't. I have a Montreal exposure already, so like I don't really want a bunch of that either because I think that they're also going to get catapulted. So, Mr. Dallas recap, is Miro back? No, Miro should be back by midweek or the weekend is my guess. I shade toward the weekend for him, but no, he is not back for game one. Miro Heiskanen. Most of the reg drafters I've already maxed since there's only 3. Yeah, that is also true. All right, I'm gonna go Austin Matthews here out of the 3-hole. I love Nikita Kucherov, but let's take the easier round 1 matchup. And I have not gotten to Matthews on stream yet, so I will obviously be starring Stolars to make sure I don't forget about him late in the draft or middle of the draft, early in the draft. We'll see. Nylander, Marner, Nyes, just to have them in mind. Matthew Nyes has been sliding up the board. I don't know. I think he's a really good pick regardless, but it's been interesting to see that I think that the field is getting a little more confident in his ability to produce. Versus, obviously he's top power play, but versus the McMahons, I guess like Robertson, but these guys who are secondary scorers, I guess. So I don't know how crazy I'll get though with the Toronto build because defense is hard to come by with them as well. Kill McCarr. Oh, okay. Cal McCarr almost made it back to me there. That would have been interesting. So we have McKinnon, McDavid, Matthews, Kucherov, McCarr goes, Draisaitl, Hellebuck goes, and Ovi and Kyle Connor go. I could go Jack. Just go Jack. If I miss out on Nylander or Marner, that's fine. If I miss out on both, I'll be a little annoyed, but also not the end of the world. Smurfer gets Nachos to fall back to him. Willis is probably going to grab Barkov. So yeah, I should get one of Marner or Nylander here, no problem. Oh, Bouchard. Forgot about that. Obviously, also an option with the McDavid Reinhardt start. All right, I will grab Mitch Marner. If Nylander comes back to me, great. If not, again, no problem. And yeah. What else do I want to do here? Obviously, since I took Jack, Mark Stone should be glued to his hip. And Shea Theodore as the defensive option since Toronto does not have much to offer there. And then Aiden Hill also, I should star just so I don't forget about him. Let's see. Oh boy. Webb PG87 just joined in. Good luck, have fun jamming those final drafts. Did your 18 Zambonis and you're content? Heavy on Colorado and Florida, Toronto, Washington. So yeah, I guess Colorado winning the West would be good for you, and a bunch of different options out in the East. Thank you for hopping in. Yeah, and if you've not been here for the full hour 20, the first 25 minutes maybe, I went over every single team's latest lines and talked through some of their changes and injury news and everything else. So make sure you scroll back a bit to see that if you missed it. All right, so I'm going to make sure I get Shea Theodore. I will keep Aiden Hill up here. I'm happy to get one of Nyes or Tavares. I probably don't need both. I will put JT slightly ahead for now. And obviously, I would like to get Stolars, but he shouldn't go before the run on goalies. I just got to keep an eye on, I guess, Zoe Finch. All right, so yeah, this Lego team going to be unreal. Yes, the Kucherov at 4, followed by Makar at 9. That's a nice way to start things off. The nice and easy Vasi point to follow it up. Yeah, it's nice when that happens. I guess that's kind of my fault because I gave him Kucherov instead of taking Kucherov myself at 3. Every season there's some report about how Buffalo might spend close to the cap and they don't miss the playoffs. Yeah, we're not talking about the Buffalo Sabres at this point. I've seen the Buffalo Sabres Twitter get into an argument about whether Michael Pekka should be on the bench for the Sabres next year. And it's like, yeah, Michael Pekka, by the way, former Sabre, former Islander, also on the bench for the Rangers, who famously did very well this year. I don't actually know what he was in charge of for them, but whatever it was, I can't say with much confidence he was doing a great job at it. All right, let's grab Aiden Hill. I'll grab Mark Stone next. If I can get JT after ADP, cool. If not, I'll take Matthew Nyes. So, well, do I need to push? The reason I want Mark Stone is because I don't really want to take Barbashev. Dorofayev's fine, but I can get centers pretty easily. Versus with my current setup with Matthews and Eichel, having just Mitch Marner at wing would be happiest if I could get Mark Stone in there as well, just to get another star winger. The coaching staff performed well when the President Trophy winning roster misses the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, Phil Housley, also, I think he was the associate head coach. He also got fired. So I love to see it's always a good day when both Phil Housley and Greg Cronin get fired. So, we had a good morning here in the Moods household. Let's see. There's baseball going on. How'd the baseball go? Oh, I'm back on the clock. All right, Mark Stone or JT. I want Mark Stone. Let's see if JT will come back to me. Holy shit! Wait. The Phillies almost lost. That is incredible. Some dude gave up 6 runs in the 9th. Wow. That'll happen. What else do we have? I don't even remember who I played in DFS, so that's fun. No, I played the pitcher for St. Louis, who's not very good. Oh, and I played Paul Skeens. That's right. He only has 2 Ks through 50 pitches. Not great. All right. Chalk Philly somehow stole every base. Yeah, I did notice that when my Harper Schwarber mini both stole bases to somewhere in that middle inning there. All right, JT makes it back. I will happily do that. So this means I can probably go 6 Toronto, no problem, with Vegas 4. And once again, I can keep an eye out for defensemen in the West. Are there any defensemen in the West? Do I just take Hannafin? Well, I could go 6 Vegas again and 4 Toronto. Because I have 1, 2, 3. And then I could grab double D for Vegas and just say they make the cup. Oh. Well, Thomas Harley is just sitting here staring at me. Webb's out here helping me out. I have that's my sidekick. I don't need legendary upside. I have my own sidekick here in the chat because that is pretty fun. Because that makes sense divisions wise too. My God, you are the best. Thank you for that. Big save and a beauty right there. And then if I get Wyatt, that would be pretty nice. But now I've risen the alarm bells for the Miko drafter, though I think Zoe Finch is out here just vibing. Maybe I triggered an alarm bell though when they grabbed Wyatt with Rantanen, but Chikrin for the bit. Yeah, I mean, just a Chikrin in every pot. I think that's the saying, right? So, and yes, thank you, S-Wood. In the Discord, love seeing, I mean, my YouTube name when I comment on things is like Mattman1398, so no one knows that it's me either. So, certainly understand that. All right, we're getting crazy on wings, or on centers, but whatever. Four of them with Matthews and Eichel. Obviously, just gotta hope that these softer wingers, just one of them has a usable score. Oh my God, I forgot about Nez's bit on Chikrin yesterday. That's pretty good. Yeah, Ovi. Yeah, Ovi and Winnipeg, and then Washington. Okay. Ooh, John going double D here. Chikrin and Carlson to go with his Josh Morrissey. Is he going the vaunted 6-6 strategy with this build? The 2 1 seeds in each conference? Has the man truly lost his mind and it's just being a standing slappy? The world may never know. All right. Will Zoe Finch take a defenseman? Here is the question. What are the other wing options for Toronto? Oh boy, John's autoing while walking the dog. Hey, that means you're walking the dog, listening to me stream. That is some cool shit right there. I think that means I've leveled up into something. I don't know what exactly. Oh, Max Domi too. All right, let's go Stolars, and then just checking. I have two Dallas. I have the goalie for Vegas and Toronto. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Vegas, and I should have 4 Toronto. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means if I get Nyes and Domi to close it out here, that's looking real nice. Domi moved up to the second line in practice today, so that is what we're expecting. So that would feel pretty good. Nyes makes it back. I have the full top line. So yeah, Lego, a man after my own heart, grabbing Kempe, Byfield, Brant Clark. Is he going to go Fiala to close? We'll see. We will see. That's for sure. All right. So as we reach the end of this draft, there are 16 more minutes to get in these lobbies. Obviously, the lobbies will extend after the closing time. But it does look like we're going to see a little bit of overlay, and thus some third place teams will advance out of round one, which is always good news for us, the drafters. Thoughts on door 5 where Domi's 6th leaf won't score with no D-man? That's true. I didn't get into the Sims as deep to say min 1 for each position or anything like that. But since in reality I need Vegas or Dallas to meet me in the final anyway, I'll just make sure I have 6 Leafs. Again, like you're saying, it doesn't mean they're all going to score, but I think just getting into those combinatorics of the 6 might be a bit more important than whether quote unquote guaranteed 1 to score. So that's a good shout, though. Certainly something to consider. If I had more, yeah, if Max Domi's not winning many contests, like, I mean, at some point he's playing alongside Tavares and Nylander. Like, if that line scores 6 goals in a series and he gets 3 of them, like Evan Rodriguez won people $10,000 last year. You're telling me that Evan Rodriguez is a substantially better player than Max Domi? I don't know. I think you just sort of take guys, who are, well, I should say, take guys who are getting roles, or you take Brant Clark, who's not getting a role but will crush in those minutes, and you just let it play out instead of over analyzing things, because yes, this is hockey. Random shit happens. Justin Williams was Mr. Game 7. Justin Williams wasn't a superstar by any stretch, but it just is what it is. But in any case, Erod spiked last year. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out in the chat. These Zamboni streams were much more successful than I anticipated them being. Getting a couple dozen live concurrents at any one time looking at it is really neat. And I hope that you enjoyed the content. I hope you enjoyed the coverage. If you need more, I was on the Badge Bros yesterday with John in the chat here. So you can go check that out. I think we did about 30 to 40 minutes toward the end of their show. But yeah, I am going to log off here and get into the final 15 minutes that I'll just be frenetically clicking around. And I don't think we need to be streaming that. So best of luck out here, guys. Best of luck in the playoffs. Mood 6 stacking Toronto means Ottawa wins. Absolutely. That is definitely how it's going. DJ and I are both such Toronto slappies. It's just going to be mega painful. Thank you, Willis. Yeah, and yes, I do not want to be watching Ottawa pass this round either. All right, guys, headed out. Thank you all, and we'll talk soon. Peace.